Tom Cruise is fun. He likes to run, but most importantly, he does his own stunts. Tom Cruise is basically a pilot and a stunt dude who happens to star in the world's biggest movies at this point. He'll do just about any daring feat on camera that could be more safely accomplished with special effects or a properly trained stunt person. The Mission Impossible series has basically become a vehicle for Tom Cruise to show off all the new stunts he's been practicing.
Look what I can do!
He's easy to poke fun at, but you have got to respect his commitment to the craft. Playing a character who flies a plane, he's taking flight lessons.
I can do this, I can do this.
A scene takes place in freefall, he'll meet the crew in the stratosphere. Tom Cruise has successfully pivoted his acting career into an outlet for his adrenaline dependence. Not even just for the Mission Impossible series, Cruise has been committed to his stunts even before that franchise became what it is. We are always on the edge of our seats watching Tom Cruise pull off the impossible, so today at Burger Fic, we're digging into how in the world he pulled off some of his most epic stunts, and of course, ranking them. Yes, it's going to feature a lot of Mission Impossible, but there are a few surprises from other movies on this list as well. Which stunt left you in shock and awe? Let us know in the comments below. Put on a seatbelt or a safety harness. We're counting down Tom Cruise's most dangerous stunts.
Help me, Tom Cruise! Tom Cruise used a witchcraft on me to get the fire off me!
Number 10. Zero Gravity from The Mummy.
Parachute!
Remember when Universal tried to make a Monsters cinematic universe? No? That's okay, you're better off without it. Despite the attempt to force a franchise, there is at least one cool practical stunt in this movie. Instead of simulating zero-G during the plane crash scene, Cruise decided they should fly the whole crew up into the air and really drop a plane out of the sky for a short distance. They flew up 25,000 feet and repeated the drop 64 times. But why? Well, zero-G is actually a difficult effect to fake, especially with performers who have long hair. It's challenging for special effects artists to accurately simulate the way hair floats around. Using the real thing, though risky, really sells the scene and makes the audience feel that weightlessness. Number 9. Under a Truck from Mission Impossible 3. It's unbelievable how humble the early Mission Impossible movies feel in light of the most recent ones. Don't get me wrong, Mission Impossible 3 is great, one of the best in the series in my opinion, just a lot smaller compared to Mission Impossible Fallout. Still, Tom Cruise managed to find a way to put himself in danger while filming Mission 3.
I'm in danger!
This was before Cruise had as much control over the franchise, so he basically had to beg director J.J. Abrams to let him lie in the middle of the road while a tanker truck slid over him at full speed. Just a slight miscalculation from any crew member could have made this Ethan Hunt's last mission. Number 8. The rooftop jump from Fallout. Did you catch what happened there?
Enhance.
Cruise demolished his ankle doing this stunt, and that's the take that ends up in the final cut. It's one of those things you can't unsee after you notice it. Production had to stop shooting for a while after this stunt so that Tom Cruise could recover. It might not seem like the most dangerous stunt on paper, but even with wires and the relatively small scale, a tiny mistake on any stunt can cause serious damage. Number 7. Knife Stare from Mission Impossible 2. Seems pretty straightforward, right? What's the danger? Well, the danger is that Tom Cruise suggested to director John Woo that his co-star use a real knife and hold it about 1 centimeter from his eye, seemingly for no reason other than to be hardcore. The knife was tethered at a safe distance away from Cruise's eye so that the person holding it couldn't accidentally stab him. That still doesn't stop Tom from accidentally moving 1 centimeter forward. He had to stay completely still.
I've mastered the ability of standing so incredibly still.
What if he had a sudden urge to sneeze? This is one of those stunts that just seems dangerous for no reason. Knives are so easy to fake. It's one of the oldest props in the industry. Nobody would have noticed if the knife was foam, or plastic, or just anything less dangerous. Number 6. Flying a helicopter from Mission Impossible Fallout. With this stunt, the story goes that Tom Cruise was looking to go fly helicopters in New Zealand on his time off. The thing is, when you're Tom Cruise, you don't get a ton of downtime between missions. Instead, Cruise and crew wrote a big helicopter set piece into Mission Impossible Fallout. The biggest danger with this stunt came from the heavy bag in tow of the helicopter. Any miscalculations there would have sent the helicopter off balance and straight into the ground, with Cruise hanging on for dear life. Lots of tests and safer environments were done before shooting to make sure safety was on point. Number 5. Hands-free flying from American Made. Told you there were a couple surprises here. All of the flying in this movie was done practically, so no visual trickery. That is Tom Cruise piloting the plane. One scene in particular was especially dangerous, wherein Cruise's character steps away from the flight stick and starts throwing his bales of cocaine out the plane. That was real. Not the coke. Well, probably not. I doubt that would be in the budget. But Cruise really did take his hands off the wheel and let the plane glide to toss these props. That is seriously pushing the limit. Number 4, the halo jump from Mission Impossible Fallout. The stunt is not only dangerous, but also incredibly technically difficult for the cast and crew. That poor cameraman who has to pull focus while falling out of the sky. That did happen. These cameras don't have autofocus. Tom Cruise had to fall exactly 3 feet away from the camera and stop there in midair so that the image could stay crisp and clear. This took a ton of rehearsal, not just on stage, but in mid-skydive. It was all worth it because the sequence is jaw-dropping to watch. Number 3, climbing the BURJ KHALIFA from Ghost Protocol. This one really made my stomach queasy when I saw it in IMAX. This movie, and really this sequence alone, is the one that redefined what this series was all about. 1 mile up in the sky, scaling a glass building with almost no grip. One of the greatest stunt set pieces of all time. The fact that it's all Tom Cruise is really what sells it. Seeing his genuine expressions and reactions creates a ton of tension and relatability. Well, maybe not relatability. Number 2, Hold Your Breath from Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. For water sequences, if they really are underwater, performers will typically hold their breath for a few seconds at a time. 5-10 seconds, just to be safe. Tom Cruise held his breath for 6 minutes while shooting this scene, because he's Tom Cruise. 6 minutes is a damn long time, and it took him a lot of training to be able to do that. The behind the scenes footage of him practicing looks like he dies in the water, to be honest. He's just floating there. Maybe he did, and all that L. Ron Hubbard brought him back to life. Does the breath holding make a difference in the final sequence? I don't know if it does. This is one of those that's dangerous and resource intensive just for the sake of it. This could have been done in multiple takes. I mean, either way it was done in multiple takes, and he could have gotten his breath. Just easier ways to do this whole thing. But Tom Cruise isn't about easy. Since 10 spots isn't quite enough to cover every time Tom Cruise has pushed workplace health and safety to its limits, here are some honorable mentions that just barely missed the cut. The Utah rock climb from Mission Impossible 2. Jetpack Joyride from Minority Report. Riding with the Bulls from Night and Day. The Aquarium burst from Mission Impossible. And the number 1 entry is hanging off an airplane, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. This is the only stunt where I've seen Tom Cruise say he doubted himself while shooting it, which is fair because even by Tom Cruise standards, it's unhinged to hang off the side of an airplane while it's going through takeoff. Even just logistically, an airplane is sealed tight. If he goes through any kind of emergency while on the side, you can't just hop in and sit down safely. That massive gust of wind kicks some rocks up into your face, there's nothing you can do. Whiplash? You gotta wait until landing to get any help. Even with a harness, every take is a gamble. So much can go wrong here. Of course, Tom Cruise is increasingly pushing the limits in the upcoming Mission Impossible 7 and Top Gun Maverick. But I personally can't imagine how he could ever top this one. What do you think? I want to know your ranking. Get down in the comments and let us know. Do you want to see more Burger Fiction? One of the best ways you can ensure that is by helping us out on patreon.com/burgerfiction, like our generous patrons on the screen right now. If you can't do that, then skydiving into that like button helps us out immensely.